The best way to determine how you're doing from a financial perspective is understanding what your net worth is. But yet, whenever I talk to people and I ask them, hey, what's your net worth? Either they A, have no idea what their net worth is, or B, they don't even know where to start or how to actually calculate it. So in today's video, I'm going to be walking you through how to actually determine what your net worth is. And determining what your net worth is extremely simple. It's a very simple calculations. It is assets minus liabilities equal your net worth. When I started tracking my net worth about 10 years ago, I just started out writing down all of my assets and my liabilities on a sheet of paper. And that's how I would determine what my net worth was. And I would do that every other month. And then after a while, I graduated to putting it into an Excel spreadsheet. I remember I had custom cells and I had it formatted to where whenever I updated an asset or a liability, it would automatically calculate and determine what my net worth was. And I went off of that for years. And then now I've graduated to just using apps. So you can actually just go online, you can type in net worth calculator. There are tons of free calculators out there. So at any point in time, you can quickly just go online, put in whatever your assets are, minus out your liabilities, and then you'll know what your net worth is. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go on my iPad here and I'm going to start actually putting together my assets and then my liabilities, which will ultimately show us what my net worth is. All right, so what you're looking at right here is you're just looking at a website that I'm on to determine your net worth. I believe this is the Dave Ramsey website. There's a bunch of free financial tools on there. So if you ever want to check that out, it's free to use. You just jump on there and you can do a whole bunch of different calculations. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to be taking a look at net worth here. And the very first thing that we're going to take into account is any real estate that we own. So for this example, I'm just going to be going through and I'm going to be putting in just some numbers that I'm making up here on the fly as I go through this video. Now, if you're a renter and you don't own, of course, you would leave this as a 0. But for the cases of this scenario, we're going to assume that we are an owner and the house that we purchased is worth $250,000. So we've got that. And as you can see, it's calculating your assets, right? It's your home that you own is an asset. There's a lot of people out there that say, hey, if you're not making money on your home, it's not an asset. But for the purposes of determining your net worth, it is an asset. And then we're going to go through and we're going to take a look at our checking account. And we've got $2,000 in our checking account. And then we've got $8,000 in our savings account. And then in our retirement account, which is our 401k, we've got $50,000 in that account. And then we also have a car that we own, and our car is worth $25,000. And then in the other assets category here, we have stocks that we invest in our individual brokerage account, and we've got $12,000 in there. So there are other things that you can include in that, but I'm just doing a very basic example here for you. So if you've got other things that you want to put in there, business assets, any jewelry that you own, things of that nature would all go into this other assets category. I'm just doing a very simple example here. So we're going to put $12,000 in there. And as you can see, our assets total $347,000. So we're looking pretty good right there. Now we're going to shift over and we're going to take a look at the liability side over here. Now our house is worth $250,000, but we have a loan on it and we owe $200,000 on that. So put another 0 there. So as you can see, now we have a $200,000 liability in the column here. And we use our credit card every single month. We don't have a huge balance on it, but we've got $1,500 on our credit card. And we also have a very small personal loan that we took out. I don't know why we would do that, but again, for the purposes of this example, we have a $2,500 personal loan that we took out. And that was before you started watching this channel and understanding that we don't take out personal loans to go out and just buy things that are liabilities that bring us no value. So that's included in there. And then, of course, we've got student loans. We went to that 4-year college, but we spent the first 2 years going to a community college where we were able to cash flow the first 2 years of our collegiate career. So Luckily, we were able to get out of college and we only owe $30,000. Now, that's a lot. College is expensive these days, but it was $30,000 in loans that we took out. And then our car is worth $25,000, but we still owe $20,000 on our car. So we have to make sure we put that here. And then we also have some medical bills that we still have to pay and some other miscellaneous bills that are out there. And that is $4,000. So we've got our assets in here. We've also got our liabilities, and we're going to actually just hit calculate our net worth here. So we go down here. So our net worth is $89,000. Based off of all of the things that we put in here, all of the things that we own versus all of the things that we owe, we have a net worth of $89,000. I think the best thing about tracking your net worth is you can actually see how you're performing on a month-to-month basis. I check my net worth maybe twice a year. Like I said, when I first started, I would do it every other month. So tracking your net worth is a really good way to determine really how you're doing from a financial perspective. See, we have people out there that have a lot of nice things, but they owe a lot of money on them. So when we really put it down to a very macro level and we're taking a look at what are you worth, this is the best way to determine that. And as you really start to get aggressive and serious about wanting to build wealth and actually turn around your financial future, tracking your net worth is going to be key. This is something that you can track every quarter, right? You can track it 5 times a year, 6 times a year, whatever you want to do that works for you. But this is going to help you to determine how you're actually doing. So for the purposes of our example, we had an $89,000 net worth. We could check it again at the end of the year, and that may go up to 95,000 or 100,000 or 105,000. So even though we may not think that we're doing much better from a financial perspective, when you run the calculations, you could determine that you actually are. So there you have it. That's a very quick way to actually determine how you're doing from a financial perspective. And I think that's the best way to determine it. So the next time that you're thinking about how you're doing from a financial perspective, think about it in terms of net worth. Is your net worth continuing to go up year over year? If the answer to that is yes, then you're on the right track. If the answer to that is no, you can take a look at your assets versus liabilities to determine where the issue lies. All right, now that I've showed you how simple and easy it is to determine what your net worth is, I want you to go online, plug in your numbers, and come back and leave me a comment and let me know that you actually went in and now you know what your net worth is. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.